Oh, shoot. Y'all know. Y'all know these don't even stay up. This is not staying up, you guys. This is Chicago After Dark. I'm really pissed off. Really. Like, for real, I'm pissed off. Hey, you guys, I'm still here. I'm just grabbing some stuff. I want to give people a chance to come in. Oh. Hi. Hi. Ooh. Oh, that's what I meant to grab my charger. Else ain't gonna be on live. Hold on. We will not be on live if I don't plug this phone in. Oh, such a lady. Oh, shit. Such a lady. Such a lady. I'm such a lady. Oh, my God. I'm such a lady. Oh, my God. Oh, I'm like, where's the phone? Duh. Plug it in. Right? I'm so stupid. How is everyone doing? I did not really go live this week. Hello, hello, hello. So I said, let me do a Chicago After Dark real quick because I did not go live. But I didn't go live on purpose because if you follow my social media, I told people that they wanted to get in with me. They needed to get in early. And they need to get in before I shut my books down. So that's exactly what happened. Everybody started booking. I'm on greasy. And I just been doing nails. Because it's my birthday. Hey, 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 hey. If you want to bless me a little bit for my birthday, my Cash App is $Chicago. It's just that easy. $Chicago. It really is. But if you saw the community board, you saw my clients have been dropping off nice gifts. I'm surprised, like for real. Somebody brought some wine. Somebody brought me an eyebrow pencil because every time I wax her brows, I always fill them in. I'm trying to teach her how to do it. So she finally went and bought her a brow pencil, and then she bought me one. And these are not cheap. These are like $18 each. Another client gave me cash, like extra cash, and yeah, I've been getting blessed. But that's what happens when you have good relationships with your people. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's really beyond the nails. Thank you, Chrissy. Yes, happy birthday. My birthday is not here yet, but it's this week. So I'm gonna be traveling. And I'll try to record. I will be recording. I know I will. So I'm gonna tell you why I'm pissed. The reason why I'm pissed is because I went out tonight real quick just to try to hang out. I had a really nice dinner and all that, nice cocktails and all that. What is this? This is a clove. And I'm going to tell you why I'm smoking this clove. It's a reason why I'm smoking this clove. And we had a cool time, good conversation, all that, good cocktails at this Asian spot. It's really nice and swanky. A lot of celebrities go there, the football players, all the people go there, you know? It's nice. It's like levels to it and big statues everywhere and light shows on the statues, and it's very swanky. So we have a good time. and all that. But when we walk back out and I walk to my car and I'm just getting in my car, somebody has completely ransacked my car. So I'm pissed. All my stuff is thrown all over my car. And I'm like, dang, I know I had a couple of cups in my car, but it took me a few seconds to register that somebody actually had been in my car. Somebody had been in my car and went through everything in my car. Like, it wasn't nothing but no crackhead or alcoholic or something, some druggie looking for money. And it's so stupid because they just threw everything everywhere, but they left everything. But the great thing about it is I found all my sunglasses because they were at the bottom of my armrest, so they pulled it out. They didn't take anything because there was nothing to take. It was a nail smock in there that I got to give to CC. That was still, they left everything. Even my vape was still there. They didn't take anything. There was nothing to take. There may have been $1, maybe $2. No more than $2. I never keep more than $2 in the armrest. So I'm pissed because my personal space was invaded, but I'm not pissed because they ain't get nothing. The only thing I would say is that it taught me that I need to clean out my car. I got so much old paperwork and stuff, it's ridiculous. So I'm like, I got to go through and just put the most up there. I got coupons from every oil change and everything, all stuffed in there. So they was probably like, this girl needs to clean up. So they just had stuff thrown all over my car. I was so freaking pissed. And that's why I'm doing this, because I'm cleaning my vape before I use it again. I don't know what the hell they did to it. So that's why I'm using this clove, because I don't know what they did. If they did anything, it was just sitting there. I don't even know if they noticed it. But they didn't touch. They touched everything. They didn't take anything. But that's just typical Chicago stuff. Typical Chicago stuff. You know, this is why I don't want to live in the city. I'm looking around and I see stuff in the city, but I'm like, stuff like what happened tonight reminds me of why I don't like the city. It's just a hot mess. Hot mess. Like, stuff like that, you just gotta be like, eh, you know. But, it's annoying. So, I guess I want to say that today's Chicago After Dark is you never know who's watching you. I hate these because they don't stay lit. You see how fast that went out? You never know who's watching you. You really never know who's watching you, because whoever that was, I'm not in the habit of locking my car a lot, because the police, like, they sitting outside my house right now, sit outside all day long, all day. They don't really have much to do over here where I live. It's very quiet and calm, and the police just literally sit in my lot. So I don't worry about my vehicle. So I think I walked away and forgot to hit the lock button, and whoever it was saw me do that. So as soon as I got into place, they went and threw my car. So you just never know who's watching you. You'd be surprised. On the other hand, you never know who's watching you on the good end. And this is why I say that it's very important to keep our social media and our online presence here. Even if I put up these Chicago After Darks, you see I don't keep them up long, because that's not really part of my brand, and it's not really representative, and I never know who's watching me. I know for a fact that people who cast for reality shows, I'm not saying I'm gonna be on a reality show, but I'm saying people who cast for different things like that, they're already watching you. They're watching you. They have scouts. You just never know. Like, I'm doing a show right now. It's on relationships though, and you know, whatever. But it's a Facebook thing. It's like a little Facebook show that happens every week, and they asked me to come out, and I came out. And they were like, people loved you. People want you to come back. We don't, you know, we had you on as a guest, but we want you to kind of like be a cast member. I'm like, wow, because they watch this channel and they know that I know how to speak in front of people, and I know what to say, and I'm not afraid to say it. So they want me to kind of be like the Simon, like on American Idol. Simon is always the one who's going to say it like it is and just be honest and truthful, and he doesn't care if he hurts people's feelings. So I think they want me to be that person on this little talk show. Oh, I'm such a lady. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, sorry. I'm such a lady. But this is salsa. It's salsa. So I think they want me to be that. But I'm saying you just never know who's watching you overall. So, you know, like, I drill a lot of things home for a lot of different reasons. We got to be careful, but on the other end, we got to be safe. But on the other end, you got to be careful and never just always think who's watching you because of that. I'll give you a little bitty story. I might have told it before, but this does relate to nails. I was doing this lady. I think I told this story before. I was doing this lady, and I had been doing her for a while. But, you know, I would let the other girls, this is when I had the big salon, I would let other girls do her too, but I mostly did her. She would always just engage me in conversation, and she kept telling me about her husband. But I'm not like starstruck or whatever. I'm just like never that person because it's the beauty industry. You eventually, if you become a real professional, like full time, you will, it's like those things don't hit you the same, really, unless it benefits you. So she's telling me about her husband and Michael Jordan and all this stuff. And I'm just like, oh, okay, you know. And I just kept a direct deposit. Okay. That's always a good thing. But, so it's just like, she's telling me this. She's telling me this for months and months and months. And she's talking, but you know, when you work in this industry, you listen to people talk all day long. So all that conversation kind of becomes one big blur. But one day she came bursting in there like, Ruby, because back then everybody knew me as Ruby. Ruby, oh my God, Ruby, it's time. I need you. Here's my assistant. I need you to talk to her. That woman had been testing me and just seeing how I react to things on purpose because she had plans for me. And her plan was to have me come into her husband's newly built from the ground multi-million-dollar gym facility where all the MB, it was for the community, but really it was a separate part that you had to have fingerprints and stuff to get into. And it was a whole different world once you put them fingerprints in and get back there. That's why all the NBA players trained and everything during the summer to prepare for the season. And her husband, what she was telling me, but I wasn't thinking, you know, because I'm thinking like, hell, that's nice, but I'm shit too. So her husband was actually the guy who was responsible for training Michael Jordan to help him become the person he was today. And he was very known, and he is very known in the NBA. And he opened up his own training facility slash community building. And this wasn't no small building, you guys. This is a building that took up like a whole block. Seriously, with the parking lots and everything, it was a humongous building. And you had the regular parking lot, but then you had another parking lot that had tall steel gates, and that's, you would see like Bentleys and Lambos and all that stuff back there because it was like an NBA side that you had to know about. And then you had the part that was you know, open to the public, and they had all type of training programs. So, and also it was the home of the WNBA. So the Sky, that's the Chicago team. The Sky it became their home facility too. So her husband, it was his building. And I did not realize that this woman who I had in my chair week after week, rubbing her, touching her, doing her nails, that was his wife. You never know who's watching you. You never know who's in your chair. So basically she told me, she said, I need you to come up here. I'm like, okay. I really didn't think much of it. I'm just like, okay, I'll come up there. And when I came up there, she started taking me on a tour of the place. Everything was brand spanking new. When I tell you, you could smell the newness, everything was new. Like certain things weren't built all the way out. But let me tell you, the other side where the NBA players were, literally like, it was like a spa. They had a whole kitchen area with all these chairs around with flat screens, and they had a chef that would come in and prepare meals for them. Like a theater room where all these flat screens so they could relax. They actually had rooms where they can take naps with beds in them and everything, like a bedroom. Then they had an area where barbers could come in. Then they had my area where I was the nail tech on staff. I don't know, I don't think I told this story. A massage room, every room you could imagine for the NBA players. Then they had a gym, and it was a gym specifically for them. Okay? And they had their own, I think they had their own little court where they would let them practice. So basically, people that were coming to this building, they didn't know that all the NBA players were there. And I'm not going to go, well, it's not that much to tell. I guess I'll tell it, but I'm going to probably end up telling it again. So that's how I ended up working on Dwayne Wade. That's how I ended up working on Antoine Walker, a lot of the people from the Hawks. I didn't know their name, some African men, all this stuff. I didn't know these guys. The only people I really recognized and who were my regulars were Dwayne Wade and Antoine Walker, I think that's his name. Whoever Evelyn Lozada was married to or with, he was my client. He was my regular client. He was very nice and very, very, he's a very nice person. He's very generous. Dwayne Wade is also very nice and very generous. And Dwayne Wade is also very quiet, believe it or not. And very soft-spoken. So, not that much to tell about that. But all I can say is that they were very generous. But to me, the biggest story was how I came upon that, because I ended up being on staff. And she said the reason why she chose me is because I never overreacted when I would tell her these things. She said, you never reacted. She said, Michael Jordan They had a manicurist that they tried to link up with Michael Jordan, and she would be so nervous. She kept cutting his cuticles. And she said so she couldn't really bring her all the way in the way she wanted to because she was acting too starstruck. She was like, but you never reacted. You just never reacted. And the reason why I never reacted when she would be telling me all these stories is because I was so nervous and stressed out at the time and bogged down with my own stuff because I had just opened my own business, running this big business in the West Loop, you know, so I wasn't really like, oh, I'm thinking like, oh, I gotta get my own business off the ground. So I did that for a minute or whatever, but I didn't do it that long because I just became too, you can't, it was like a nice opportunity, but like I tell people, when it comes to working with celebrities and things like that, unless they are putting you on staff on their straight up roll call, I think that most people should take the opportunity and just put it on their resume and keep it moving. And it looks better to have a whole bunch of different people on your resume until someone wants to put you on a real payroll. Just to be on call for celebrities is not going to be lucrative, okay? Because they may call you like crazy for a month or two, but then you might not hear from them. And that wasn't lucrative overall because they each have to go back to their respective states to play their season. They only came there for training. So that wasn't anything where I was going to drop my entire life to cater to them all the time. Okay? Now, if one of them would have said, hey, I want you on staff, I want you on call, I'm going to give you, you know, $3,000 a month just to be on call, and then I'll call you up to 3-4 times a month to pay for you to fly out, then I would have been on call for that amount, 3 or 4 or 5 a month. Yeah, probably. But none of them were offering that. So it was just like, it was just the opportunity for what it was. And it allows me to use that on my resume because that really did happen. I was Dwayne Wade's manicurist. I was Antoine Walker's manicurist. And all these other people, I don't remember their names. I just know it was some guys from the Hawks and stuff like that. But yeah, that's story time. You never know who's watching you. You never know who's in your chair. You just never know. Also, you never know who's watching you or who you're speaking to. You got to be kind of careful because when I worked in marketing, I used to travel a lot with the sales team. Sometimes I would also travel. The owner of the company would come out with us. And I keep telling people all the time that people who are flashy are usually not the ones with the real money, honey. We would get all dressed up to go to these sales meetings with suits and all this. And if the owner of the company came out, he wouldn't even really get dressed. He would have on gym shoes and whatever he wanted to wear. Hell, he didn't get groomed or nothing. You know why? Because he was the owner of the company. He was the multi-millionaire in the room. And even if we're walking the stuff into Sally's or Walmart or Walgreens, we're going into the corporate office. He didn't care because he had hired us to look good for him. He didn't feel the need to dress up. And it's funny because we go out to dinner, we go different places, and people will always just kind of disregard him and want to talk to us. And I'm like, we all work for him. But he's so low key with it that people just always blew him off. And I'm like, they only knew who they had in the chair. The products that's in your house, this man created them. The products that's on the shelf, he created them. Yeah, I wrote the copy, I picked the models, I did all that, but this is the owner right here. And you just never know. I'm just saying, you never know who you have around you. Do not assume that people got money because they look like money. A lot of people that look like money spend their money to look like money. People who used to having money look at money totally different. They really, unless the only time people with money get dressed up really a lot of the times with real money, only time they get dressed up is when they going around other people who got more money or opportunities so they can make more money. Then they going to get dressed up. Then they're going to get dressed up. If they, like one time he got an opportunity to go over, they used to go over to London a lot. He would never send me, being a hater. But anytime it was time to go over to London, there would be like a lot of, you know, people from other countries and stuff there at these fancy dinners where it was like $5,000 a plate and all that stuff. Maybe that's why he didn't send me. But $5,000 a plate, and then he would get dressed for that. And he would always send his kids and all that, and they would go represent the company. Then they would get dressed and they would get stuff tailored. That's what people with real money do. People with real money spend their money on stuff like that. They not going out buying every Gucci this, Gucci that. Not the people who had to struggle to make the money. They don't do that. I'm just saying. They don't. So you never know who's watching you. That's all I'm going to say. You never know who's watching you. And when I got that job, At that company, I remember when I went in for the interview, I didn't think much. Let me say, you can't underestimate stuff either, because I didn't think much of that place. I thought it was a fake company. I thought it was a fake company. But I needed a job, and I'm like, well, let me just go check it out. When I got there, it was like very old and dusty and everything. And the girl is talking to me and interviewing me, but I'm looking around like, is this even a real company? Like, it just looked cheesy as hell, and I just didn't believe it. But then he came out, the owner of the company. He walked past. He had a dog with him. He had a whole dog in the office with him. He walked past in his regular old jeans or whatever, just regular schmegular guy. I'm thinking he might be the groundskeeper or something. He walked past like, hi, how you doing? Just walked past. I'm like, hi. But he was really watching me to see who she was interviewing, because I was one of the first marketing people they hired on the team, professional marketing people, because it was a mom and pop. I didn't know he was the pop. So I was like, this place is crazy. Is it a whole dog in here? Like, when I was sitting there waiting on her, the dog was just sitting. I'm like, is this like a wolf? And I found out that he was a wolf mix that they picked up off the street one day. He was just sitting there, Cuckoo. They call him Cuckoo, but his real name was Cactus. And he was just sitting there. I'm like, oh my God, this is so weird. I'm sitting in this dusty fake business. It's a wolf dog sitting here. The wolf dog walking back and forth with this man. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And then on top of that, they wanted me to come back a second time. A second time. And they gave me a homework assignment. They gave me a homework assignment and a whole case study I had to do. I said, what the hell? And I really wasn't going to do it. I was like, when I leave here, I'm done with this. This is fake. But let me tell you what changed my mind. You never know. In that little dusty office that I was in with the dog, and in a separate little room, it was all dusty. She said, okay, before you leave, let me give you a tour. I said, oh, it's more to this. It was a little back door. The front door and all that, but it was a little bitty back door, just a regular old door. You guys, when she opened that door to give me a tour, I felt stupid because I was judging the place based on what I saw, and that it wasn't all flashy and fancy and new and modern. When she opened that door, it was a whole manufacturing plant behind that door. I'm talking like a bowl. You know how you mix something in a big bowl? These things were so huge. They were the size of this whole room. When they're making hair products, believe it or not, one batch can be the size. They can mix a batch of hair butter, and the thing could be the size of your bedroom, literally. That could be one batch of product that they churning for hours. It was a whole warehouse. So while I went into that one, y'all don't understand. When I went into that one little door, I judged that place and was about to walk away from an opportunity that spiraled my life in a whole nother direction, because I saw a scruffy office with a wolf dog and just the generic business. It did not look like a real business. But when I opened that door, I saw all of that stuff. I couldn't believe it, because guess what? The entire building across, it was like little suites. I'm thinking this is just their one little suite, like somebody rented a little $400 suite. No, they had the whole building. That was just the little door that I went into to interview. And the whole back part of that whole big building, which was a whole block long, was their manufacturing facility. And all the other doors and the other suites were theirs too. Accounting, chemists, their meeting rooms. I didn't know that. We can't judge a book by its cover, and you just never know who's watching you. You'd be surprised if you just kind of sit back and just chill and just see what stuff is about, and just make sure you're carrying yourself in a good way. Even if things seem shifty, watch your back. But you know, even if things seem shifty, I got hired. And I drove home, and I'm like, I was just still in shock, like, wow. And it was black owned. I couldn't believe it. Because when I looked the company up online, I couldn't find nothing on them. And I'm going to tell you, it's a company that makes most of the products that you all see on shelf today. And that man, I ended up traveling all over the country with him numerous times. And when he goes out, people still think he has nothing. But he's a multimillionaire, and he's responsible for a lot of other brands. You probably got some of his products in your house right now. And that's just one little story. I'm just telling you all little bitty stories that helped me to shape who I am today. And a lot of things, if I had not taken the chance, or if I prejudged it, or if I was just putting myself out there any type of way, a lot of these things wouldn't have happened. So when I'm pushing you all to do certain things, you all can listen to whoever the hell you want to listen to. But I'm going to tell you something. I got some of the most comprehensive experience than most people. I'm going to say that. I'm not trying to put nobody down, but what I am telling is I have the most comprehensive experience from so many different angles. It just happens to be in beauty, and I could really tell you like how to make it. And I know that a lot of you guys are beginners, and I've been thinking about it. I think a lot of you all might need help with acrylic. Is that true? I was thinking about this on my way home. I think a lot of people really need some serious help with some really, like, learning how to lay some bomb acrylic, fast bomb acrylic. I just wonder if you could tell me. Because I got a lot of exciting things coming up, you know, and I don't want to just be preaching. I said, okay, I'm going to help in a lot of other ways as well, you know, but I really want you all to really try to get your mind wrapped around the right things the right way. The money will always come if you focus, if you represent yourself correctly, if you are consistent, all that good stuff. Like, I'm telling you, I've been taking some places in my life. My life was going ways I never thought it could go. And I've been at tables never thought I could be at. Like, I'm sitting at a table with two multimillionaires, an NBA player, the president of Sally Beauty Supply, the whole thing. I'm in a meeting with the person who puts products on shelf at Walmart. I'm on a call with the VP of marketing for Walmart. Like, people wish they had those type of connections, or, you know, those opportunities. I just never knew. But had I walked out of that little interview in that little dusty office that day and said, no, thank you very much, okay, and just walked on out, sometimes we be blocking our own blessings because we prejudge stuff. We just, you know, we give up on stuff too easily. You know, so we got to learn how to tap into, I'm not going to say we gotta, but it's good to tap into your own intuition and be open to what the universe has for you. Because I never would have thought that my past 10 years would have went the way that it did. And so I'm happy to be in this place now, because everything I've been through, I have to sit back sometimes and go, wow. And I literally will cry because I cannot believe some of the experiences. They seem surreal. Like jet setting all over the country and sitting down and talking with all these people and just everything. And I look at the magazine articles and all this stuff, and I'm like, wow, I want to teach people how to do this. I want to teach people how to really go after their dreams. But it ain't going to be pretty, and it's going to be uncomfortable at times. Because guess what? I ain't tell you this part. When I worked for that company, I was very underpaid. I was grossly underpaid. And as they grew the marketing department, they were working me so hard to get all this stuff off the ground on a whole nother professional level, because that's what we were all professional people were hired to do. I demanded a raise, and I was so grossly underpaid. They gave me a $10,000 raise. I got a $10,000. First, they gave me a $7,000 raise. I said, that is not enough. And my boss, she knew it. She was like, I can't. She said, I wish I was here, because she hadn't been hired yet. I was the first one hired. She's like, if I was here, you wouldn't even be on this level. You'd be here. I'm like, I know. She's like, okay, let me go back. So she went back and she got me from $7,000 to $10,000. So they gave me a $10,000 raise, and they gave me a like a promotion. So I jumped up to a senior brand manager. So when I left there, I was a senior brand manager running 7 hair care brands. That still was putting me, I was still underpaid. But it was okay, because the amount of experience and all the connections I got and all the people I learned from, it was worth it. It was so, when I tell you it was so worth it, I learned so much. Like, I can go put together a whole TV commercial. I can put together anything you want. And that's why to this day I still get hired for real consulting gigs. I know I say I do consulting here, but I get hired by companies. I have not been putting myself out there like that, but people will reach out to me here and there, and they will ask me if I want to step into a gig. Like, if somebody's not available, because there are people in the industry that do that, like consulting work, but if they know no one's available, they may reach out like, Tanisha, you want this gig? It's for da-da-da-da. They got like a, you know, their budget is like 20,000. Do you have time? And I may tell them like, hey, I can only write the plan. I don't have time to do all this da-da-da. Or, you know, I'll do stuff like that. So I still can step in and out of that as well. But I want to be on this side of it because I want you guys who are so passionate I want to share with you guys. But I want to share with the people who are ready to be uncomfortable. That's why I speak the way I do. I want to see how much this thing goes out. It's uncomfortable. Stop thinking the beauty industry is comfortable. Y'all watching the foo-foo-y stuff. That's the fun part. It's very uncomfortable to build a clientele. It's scary to build a clientele. I was watching a Facebook group the other day and somebody said something like, I be wanting to screenshot this stuff, but I don't have any permission. But the girl said, I went to a suite by myself and I didn't have 0 clients, and it's 6 months later and I'm making all this money. I can help you too. Do you need help? She had so many comments, so many comments, so many comments, so many comments. I said, see, that's the problem. A lot of people want to do it, and a lot of people are great at the technical part of it, but they have no idea where to start or how to make it a full-time income. They really don't. They really don't. And I started reading some of the comments, and then people started saying what they were doing. And of course, like I always tell you guys, well, I run a special. I run this special. I run it for $20. The worst thing you could do is start out your business by discounting your work all the time. You just set the groundwork that you are right here. And your technical skills probably right here. But you came in the door pricing yourself right there. So you're going to always have people and struggle with your people to get them to pay you your worth. You don't want to build a clientele right here. You want to start out by building a brand, because a brand sets the tone for who you are. I used to be a brand. I am a brand manager. So I'm telling you, that's why people build brands. A brand sets the tone for who you are. And then from there, you can set your price wherever you want. You can be a brand new nail tech if you want to and come in charging a lot of money. If you took time and have money to put into a budget to really market and set yourself up the correct way, you can literally come in the door charging ridiculous amounts for just manicures and pedicures if you're set up the right way, if you got the money and the time to do it. I can teach a person out of school who can do a decent manicure and pedicure with a budget. A budget. A budget. You need a budget to do this, but I'm saying, you can come in the door just charging out the woozah. You got the right look aesthetically online and in person. You have the right atmosphere. You have the right marketing and angle on your brand. You can charge premium dollar right out the gate. There is no need to come in lowballing. Lowballing gonna get you low money. Inconsistently too. Because soon as you stop running that sale, them people gonna run to the next chair. You said, yes, it's true. I need help. I'm a new nail tech. All I learned was the book, not the work. Yes. So I have an announcement coming up for that. Yes and no. I need help laying fast bomb acrylic on long nails. I struggle so bad with ombre. I don't do pink. What you say? I don't do pink and white. It's just not in demand in your area. That's fine. Ombre is kind of fading out too, to be honest. You say you love my passion for beauty. Yes, it's my passion. I believe. I always knew it was my calling. So it's like everything is coming full circle. You say, I know. She has me putting my geography on hold and pursue with an open mind the world of beauty. I'm ready to be uncomfortable. I have been so sad and unfulfilled lately. Yes, I was very sad and unfulfilled even working for them. Even though I was learning so much, I was overwhelmed. I wasn't even sleeping. That's how I gained a whole bunch of weight back then, because I used to be way heavier than this. You probably wouldn't even recognize me. But all I was doing was eating on their dime and drinking, and they was always having parties and barbecues and all this. But I was unhappy because I was learning all this stuff and gaining all this knowledge, but I was underpaid. We all knew that. Even though that $10,000 raise, they knew I was still not happy with that. I was underpaid and I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. I was on their dime. And when we would have to do trade shows, I got to hop on a plane and fly to Vegas and be there for 4, 5, 6 days. And I'm in Vegas, but I'm doing something for them. And I'm meeting all these people, but I can't talk about my stuff and my endeavors. I got to talk about their stuff. It was great, but it was like bittersweet. So I get it. And at some point you have to just say, I'm going to take this step. So what happened was, long story short, the owner of the company ended up selling because he had some health issues. And different turn of events ended up happening. And when I came back to Chicago, I had unemployment. Well, no, I went to work for Newell. That's why I said long story short. Left Atlanta, moved to North Carolina, came back to Atlanta, got called on assignment to be a brand manager for Newell Rubbermaid. Yes. So I worked for them for like 2.5 years on a long-term contract. And then once that ended, I had some health issues of my own. And then I learned my contract was ending for real, because they kept extending it, but they weren't extending it anymore because we had did everything we were supposed to do. So I said, damn, I'm just gonna go ahead and go home. I'm tired. I want to be around family. And I said, dang, this is the time to do it. That was my moment where I had to grab life by the balls. I said, you got this unemployment coming in, and you could do Uber. So when I moved back home, I moved in with my aunt, and I grabbed a small space and a commercial space, and I just did it. I had not been home in years. I had been in Atlanta for over 5 years, I think. And I came back and I just did that right away. So I moved back on Thanksgiving Day, 2016. Y'all, this wasn't long ago. Moved back on Thanksgiving Day, literally, 2016. I got the keys to my commercial space. My lease started January 1st. Do the math. I moved back Thanksgiving Day, and I had keys to a commercial space with some money that I had in the bank. It wasn't a lot. I might have had I had some thousands in the bank, but it wasn't no 30,000 or anything like that. I had a small amount of money in the bank, some thousands. And I had my unemployment coming in. And that's what I said, this is the perfect opportunity to invest in myself. And that's what I did. And the rest is history. The rest is history. So from January 1st, 2017 till today, I have a book of over 300 people. I'm not saying that 300 people come sit in my chair. I'm saying that my book is, last I looked at it was at 300. And some of those people come all the time, but some people bounce in and out. Some of them I might not see for a year. Some of them I might not see for 6-7 months. But I have a nice chunk of them that are my regulars. And the book, last time I looked, was at 300 people. And that's starting from January 2017 to, here we go, we're going to just say January 2020. And I've been saying this since last year. So my book is probably way over 300. That was the last time I looked at it. So I'm saying all this to say it's very possible. It is very possible. You don't need a huge budget. I was saying a huge budget if you're trying to be outrageous with it. Like you want to come out the gate, doing stuff people haven't done. You can make any type of money you want to make. And I hope I'm not talking you all to death, but I did the Uber. So what I would do is I was very dedicated. I got the space. It was raggedy as hell. It had roaches in it. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't know it had roaches when I first got it. But I signed a year lease. I had to keep it. And luckily, they only let me sign a year lease because most commercial spaces are 3 to 5 years or more. But anyway, I fixed it up. How did I do that? I did it little by little. I wrote it out. I said, okay, what can I do to make this place look better? I went to Menards. I said I could paint this panel in black. I asked them if I could do all these things. They said, do whatever you want to do. Just don't tear down any walls. I said, okay. I went to Menards. I talked to them in Menards. I said, what can I do? They showed me what to do. I bought these cans of paint. And every week, I painted a section of the wall with that black paint. I painted over that paneling with the black paint. Then after that can was gone, and I got a little extra money, I go get another can of paint. So the few little people that I started spreading the word to my old clients, a few of them came back in my chair. Then I started running my ads and everything, taking pictures, getting a few people who would come sit in my chair. I would get them and try to take as many pictures as I could. I would do my own hands, everything I'm telling you all do. I did it myself from scratch. And I told you the results. So I would go in. I would be scared a lot of days. Like, damn it, what are you crazy, girl? You should have went and got a job. So I was still going to interviews because I wasn't quite sure. But I would go on those interviews and bomb the interviews. You know why? Because once I get in there, it was like a sick feeling started coming over me because I knew I didn't want to do it. I really wanted to do what I wanted to do. And at a certain point, I had to say, Tanisha, stop playing. Stop playing with yourself and just go ahead and do this and be committed. And I stopped going on interviews. I stopped answering the recruiters' calls. I still get recruiters reaching out to me. Now it's about once or twice a month, but it was like almost every day recruiters reaching out to me for positions. We're talking 6 figures plus bonus. And I said, you got to stop playing. And I turned them down. I stopped answering them. And I stopped going on those interviews. And I buckled down. I started doing everything I'm telling you all to do. And at nighttime, if I didn't have anyone, I would still go up to the salon and practice on myself or do some type of marketing work, or I would work around there trying to clean it up and make it look better. After I painted around the whole room, then I went back to Menards. I talked to them about the floor. I took a picture of the floor. I said, what can I do? They told me what to do. I cleaned the floors as good as I could, and I painted the floors. I painted the floors black. I sure did. I sure did, with a special type of paint. And then what I did was section by section. So I would section off the floor, and I painted a fourth of the floor black. And then what I did was, this is me working. You got to work with what you got. I had all this glitter in my craft area. I would throw the glitter. As it was drying, I would just grab a whole bunch of glitter and just throw it. Just throw it. And when I was done with that floor, it was the bomb. So I had, when I say paneling, only half the wall was paneling. The rest was just regular drywall. So I had painted the bottom half of the drywall black. And then I painted the floor black. And I took all the glitters that I had, extra glitters that I didn't use, and I mixed them up. And I just started throwing it over the black wet paint. And once all that dried, then I would go over with a clear coat. And I did them floors. I actually upgraded those people place for them for under $100. I did all that by myself. So when people say stuff, I don't really feel sorry for people, because I have done a lot of stuff that most females won't do, but I will. And it pays off when you put in the hard work. So I'm going to keep going. So I would do the little people. I would run little ads and stuff, and I would just start doing people for free. And if you got the book, you'll know a little story I told about getting social media people to get you people. And I did that, and that worked, and that started bringing in people. That's another story. But anyway, it started to slowly work. And what I would do is at 7 o'clock, if I wasn't busy with a client, I would stop working in that place, and I would jump in my car, put on my hoodie, you know, ball my hair up and take all my makeup off or whatever. Probably wasn't wearing much makeup back then. I was tired. But I would go Uber. I would go Uber because I had to make my set amount for the day in Uber. And so in Uber, I would still try to bring in like $500 to $700 a week just doing Uber. And I just kept doing that. But guess what happened? As I kept being consistent, I wasn't really going out or anything. I was not spending any extra money. But over time, over the next couple of months, I didn't have to do Uber as much. I didn't have to do Uber as much. And when I moved out of that space, because as soon as that lease ended, trust and believe, I said, screw living in my auntie's house, screw, I'm paying both of these rents, and I went and got my own place that I could do everything in one space. But by the time I got my own space, I didn't really have to do Uber anymore. And I keep saying I need to take them stickers out my window, because I'm not an Uber driver anymore. But my one video that went viral, that's what I tell you to do. But I'll tell you to do it because that's what I did. But I was really dedicated. And the Uber is what kept me afloat while I was able to go through my dreams. And plus, I did have my unemployment coming in, but it wasn't that long. Like, I only had like 3 months of, maybe 3 months unemployment. So it wasn't like I had unemployment flow me the whole time. No, I had saved a little money to hold me. I was doing Uber, and then I had my unemployment check, which in the state of Georgia, it wasn't much. A state of Georgia unemployment check wasn't none but $330 a week, okay? And after taxes, it was $277, I want to say. So don't think I had this fat check coming from unemployment. It was $277 a week I was getting off of that. So I would make like, try to make like $500 to $700 on Uber. And then for the first couple of months, I was getting unemployment checks. So $500 to $700 off Uber plus $277 or so from unemployment. Once that ended, it was just strictly Uber. But by the time the unemployment tapered off, my personal nail clientele had started building. So that kind of took up the money that I wasn't getting from the unemployment check. I want to explain how all this came together. Get it? Do y'all get what I'm saying? Can you just tell me a yes? Are you all still here? I feel like I'm just talking. But I want you all to see how this realistically can happen, because I think it's a big disconnect in people seeing where they are now. So getting like, well, I want to do what Chicago doing. How did she do it? So I'm really trying to tell you step by step how I did it. And I used to be walking around looking like a damn taxi driver. Wasn't no makeup, no contour, no highlighter or anything. My hair would be in a braid. I don't like hair hanging because, you know, for safety reasons, I would have on a hat and I would be looking like a straight up taxi cab driver. And I only did airport runs mostly because those are the safest and those are the longest runs, they make money quickly. So I could take like 5 or 6 people from the airport and make my goal for the night. And on Sundays, if I didn't have anything to do, I would go out and drive and try to make even double that amount. And Mondays I would try to rest. You know, I would try. But that little story right there, that is how I build my clientele, along with the little steps I put in the book. Like, the stuff I put in there is not just like a page filler. It is like a real thing that I did step by step, and I broke it down the easiest way that I could in my thought process, and how I pulled together who I was trying to target. And I even tell you about the mistake I made in targeting the wrong person with the wrapper or whatever, and how that didn't work for me. So it's important to understand who you're targeting and have a financial plan to hold yourself up while you're getting off the ground. But all of you all can definitely do this. And if you're scared to step out on your own and just say, I'm just going to build this clientele from scratch, I always tell people you can always go work in a salon. If you are licensed, you can go work in a salon, a hotel, I'm not going to say a hospital, but there are a lot of different types of opportunities for you with the license. You don't, everybody just think they have to go build this clientele. You don't have to. If you really just like doing nails and you just don't want to do what you're doing, don't for, what does that sound? Oh, I need to close the window. Don't forget that you guys can go work in a salon. They will give you clients. Just realize that they're not your clients. That's what I'm saying. But you can always be slowly building your skill and everything on the side. So if you want to get away and be fully around it all day, every day, that is another way to do it. Oh, I forgot this part too. I forgot this part. When I first got the space and I first moved back, I did go get a job at the airport, because the airport has spa. Well, some of the airports have spas in them, and they were hiring. And I was busy. But the way that their pay structure, I couldn't figure out why they needed people, because I'm like, why are they always hiring? They always hiring. Everybody always quitting. I didn't last there but 2 months, and I figured it out. Well, I don't even think it was 2 months, because of the way the pay structure was set up. I wasn't really making any money, and it was just too much to get there. I had to pay for parking every day. It was a 2-hour process. You had to go through security check every day, and you there all day, and they taxing all your. It was like, really, when it all boiled down, and I figured it out, I was really making minimum wage. See, it's a lot of tricky stuff happening in this industry, so I quickly figured out why they couldn't keep nobody. So I was trying to avoid my destiny from all different ways. I was still going on job interviews, even though I said I didn't want to be in corporate. I was still trying to go get the nail job because I didn't believe in myself. But things didn't really take off until I said, you know what, screw all this. It's me in this place, marketing, putting out my work and passing out my flyers and doing all those things. I did it all with the social media till that picked up. And then I did Uber. Once I just stuck to those 2 things, that's when my clientele started growing. And that's it. That's all she wrote. And I did run a Groupon too. And believe it or not, the Groupon, I hate Groupon, but it did bring me 2 or 3 people that I got to this very day. And one girl, I don't even do her anymore, but her sister ended up becoming my regular. And she don't even come to me no more, but her sister does. She don't really get her nails done, but her sister became my regular. So it was like a culmination of things. I was just doing everything I could think to do, but I stuck with it. It wasn't until I really said I'm going to focus on it for real and do everything I can possibly do, and then work at night making cash until I didn't have to do it. That's when my life took off. And now, since then, I've been on trips and paid off all my debt, and yeah, just like everything's going well. Everything's going well. So here we are today, and that's why I decided to help others. So you never know who's watching. You never know how a small opportunity that you think is nothing can turn into something, because it might all play a role in your future, but you got to trust the process. You got to trust the process. If I would have never finished, ooh, look at that. Y'all saw my little wig. If I would have never came back with an interview, if I would have ended that interview in that little dusty hole in the wall office, I don't know if I would be right here today. I don't know. Are there any questions? Because I'm going to jump off of here. Because you know I start rocking. That means I got to use the ladies' room. I might keep this Chicago After Dark. I don't know how they feel about me smoking that clove thing. I don't know. But I guess I guess that's all. I hope I was helpful to someone. Oh, so my birthday, I don't know. I don't think I'm not gonna do a case study this week because I won't be here in my regular setting, but I will be going live or just doing like a Q&A or recording and going live while I'm out partying and celebrating my birthday. Might do that. And I think that's gonna be it. So I will catch you all in the next live, but we'll get back on the regular schedule program. We will. And I got some two big announcements coming up when I get back on the regular schedule program. You will like them. So I will catch you guys in the next video, okay? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for Nerd Blackout. Everybody have a good evening.